As Oklahoma City prepares to mark 31 years since the bombing of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building on Sunday, one group is leading an effort to save artifacts that help tell the story. Emma McAndrews gives us a look inside how the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum is preserving the events of April 19, 1995.
If I thought it could speak, I brought it in.
This is Jane Thomas, the founding archivist and curator of the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum archives. She says her journey to collecting items was not on her agenda. However,
I was simply assigned, find out what's out there. Research is what I really did. Find out what's out there. And so I set about finding out what had come into Oklahoma City, what had been saved to this point, the story of the rescue and recovery.
although not an archivist, Thomas set out to find anything and everything.
There wasn't anything I wouldn't go after. I was relentless about gathering this entire story, all facets of it.
Thomas says even though she didn't know what would be valuable, she knew it would tell a story.
I kept thinking about a museum and what you would need to tell the story in a museum. That's why I collected things like glass and Venetian blinds and elevator doors and whatever, was because I didn't know what would be needed.
Fast forward to now, Hannah Cox and Sky Conley run the memorial archives. Cox wasn't even alive for the bombing, and Conley was only a baby. Still, they know how important it is to keep the memories of the 168 lives lost alive through these items from April 19th, 1995.
So many Oklahomans have never been, even if they lived through the event, and so many Oklahomans now were born after the event. And we think this is just a really important part of our history for people to connect with during this week of remembrance.
So being able to speak with Jane Thomas and getting her perspective on building an archives from scratch and comparing it to what we're doing now is so important, especially because everything that we do here in fulfilling the mission is about bringing new generations along. And it's important to keep having these conversations because we just want to remember and to educate for as long as possible.
Conley says it's important to keep telling these stories.
Everything that's
That was Emma McAndrews reporting. The Oklahoma City Memorial and Museum is hosting a service this Sunday. The ceremony starts at 8:45 in the morning and concludes with the reading of the names of those who were killed.